Cathy McLeish here, talking about alcoholism, raising a little awareness about what it is like to deal with an alcoholic, what it's like to be struggling with alcoholism and trying to figure out if you need to get sober. I want to talk today about what you would do in your first month, how you would navigate that first month of sobriety if you put down a drink. And I'm going to only speak from my experience, so you can take it or leave it. This is what I learned. This is the path that I walked. And this is what I've seen a lot of people do that has worked or not worked. So when I share, I'm sharing from my experience and the experience of the people that went before me and the people that I have worked with in my 37 years of sobriety. So it's my first month and I am kind of a wreck. It's a whole new life. What am I going to do? And the fact of the matter is there are some things that you have to get in place in order to secure one day at a time the fact that you don't want to drink. And one would be, where's my support system? I need a support system. Now, if I've gone through a treatment center, if I've done it cold turkey on my own, no matter how I have gotten sober in my first month on my own, if I'm out of a treatment center, what am I going to do? Ideally, I have some phone numbers. I can go to some kind of a recovery meeting. I'm a part of some kind of group, even if it's a Zoom group online. I am part of something where people have gone before me and they are doing it successfully. And in that group, I'm going to have to be courageous. I'm going to have to say, I'm the new girl. I'm the new guy. I am trying. I'm a little bit nervous about it, and I could use some help. I could use somebody to even take me under their wing if they're willing and show me what they did to stay sober. So I'm going to put myself somewhere where I am not alone. Being alone, being isolated in recovery is not a very good thing because our mind is our worst enemy. And we can really do this. Other people will encourage us and we will look at those people and we will say, eventually, oh my gosh, if Sam can do this, I think I can do this. If Rachel can do this and she has all these struggles, I should be able to put one foot in front of the other and get another week of sobriety. So that is how these people help us. They help us by sharing how they got through the struggles of early sobriety. We can raise our hand and bring up a topic in any group that is full of people that have done this before us, and they will share. This is what I did. This is what didn't work. Don't do this. And so, number one, get a group, a support system. 2, get some phone numbers and use the phone numbers. The fact is you can just, get through a moment of a craving, of a desire, of a disappointment by talking to somebody else and getting your mind off of it. Now, I remember back when I was early sober, I had 2 choices at this point. If I ran into a problem and I thought I might drink, I could either call one of my old friends that would say, oh yeah, this is crap, you should go ahead, take a drink, you probably don't even have a problem. Or I could call one of my new friends, which was a little less comfortable, but it was so much more helpful because they would shine a light on a solution. My old friends would always keep me in the problem. In fact, not only that, they would blow it up like yeast in dough. And then I would have even a worse mindset when I was looking at whatever I was struggling with. So when I come upon a problem and I'm in this first month, I need to call somebody that is going to get me into the solution and out of the problem, because we drink when we don't know what to do with something. And so getting into the solution saves us from that desire to pour alcohol on the problem, thinking it is the solution. It's no longer our solution. Now, in sobriety, you'll hear people talk about, unfortunately, having to change those people that you hang around with. And that is, optional. You have to look at what these people are doing in their life. Are they worse than you? Are they better than you? Are they the same as you? And by worse, I mean they're drinking. So I had some circles that I ran in that I was the only drinker, and I encouraged those people to drink. Now, those circles were safe for me in sobriety because once you took an alcoholically drinking Cathy out of that picture, it was a healthy picture. Girls from high school, girls from college. Now, I had other circles where these friends were only drinking friends. I knew very little bit about them. I just showed up to drink with them. That is a circle I needed to stay away from. There was really no good reason for me to be with those people. So the people, places, things, they have to change. And sometimes it's because of the alcohol, and sometimes it's because they set off these triggers. Now, I had people whose personalities alone I did not know how to deal with. And that can be a relative, that can be a work person. And we just have to be honest that when I'm with them, it's like sandpaper. And so they're not my excuse to drink, but they may set off some kind of an urge to want to take a drink, because right now in early sobriety, I don't know what to do with them. I don't know how to relate to them. I don't know how to work through whatever the issues are that I'm having with these people. So momentarily in this first month, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of politely stay away from these people if I can. Now, another thing I can do in the early days is I can get alcohol out of my life. Even if I'm with a partner that is drinking, and I was in early sobriety for 8 months, he was drinking alcoholically. I can remove alcohol from the general vicinity that I am in. I have control over some of those things. I don't need to be around alcohol as much as I think I might need to be around it. I don't need to go to places where there is alcohol. I don't even need to go down the aisle in the grocery store where there is alcohol. It is so easy in that first month. It is the most natural thing for us to go back to drinking. So the best thing that we can do is to set up all of these things to protect ourselves from that time, that moment where we really don't think, we just pick up a drink. Now, in early sobriety, when I was living with this alcoholic, if he had beer in the refrigerator, if he had drinks available, it was almost automatic for me to go to them. And then I'd be like, wait, I don't drink anymore. And so it is a real threat. It is a real urge. If you have been drinking for years and years, it is almost automatic that you will find yourself going for the alcohol. So the key is don't have it within reach. And we might think that is a weakness. The weakness is just not admitting that we are vulnerable in the first month. We need to protect ourselves. And the idea is really we protect ourselves so that we can have a better life, because that better life is waiting for us. And we don't need 5, 10 relapses to get there. We really don't. And oftentimes, we know we can relapse and come back, but there are a lot of people that don't come back from a relapse. I had to look at how long it took me to get there in the first place, to get to the place where I asked for help and started to take direction to live a different life. And I have to just face the fact that it may not be that easy for me to get back if I fail. So just common sense allowed me to set up an atmosphere where I had the best chance of succeeding in those first weeks and months. Another thing that I can do in that first month is to alleviate things that remind me of drinking. I can remember going to my first dry concert. So I'm in a bar, there's music, there's absolutely everything except a drink in my hand. And so thank goodness I was pretty far along in my sobriety. I was at least a year sober before I did that. I went with someone that was sober, and it was semi-safe for me, but I was very aware of how all of these other things in this atmosphere made me feel like drinking, like the only thing that was missing was the drink. So to stay away from those atmospheres in the first month is the most healthy thing that I can decide to do so that I don't fail, so that I don't go backwards. And it's not a big thing. It seems like a big thing because I'm giving up this and I'm giving up those people and I'm giving up the drink itself. But for what I'm going to get, it will later appear to be a very small thing. Lastly, I'm just going to say one of the things that we can do is we can start to invite new and healthy things into our life. We can join some kind of a group so that we're practicing some new hobby, whether it is physically, whether it is cooking, whether it is something that we're doing with some safe people in our life, biking. There are 1,000,001 things that I did not do when I was drinking that became possibilities when I got sober. So I have all this downtime and I can stay away from this and I can protect myself from that. But if I don't do something to fill that void, First, it is going to be the learning process of the recovery program that I'm in. I need to commit some time to that and some time to phone calls so that I can learn this new path for this journey that I'm on. And second, I need to start refreshing my life with the things that I might have always wanted to do, but never had the money to do, the courage to do, the willingness to try, the people that wanted me to do it with them because I was sober now and not drinking. So there is a whole new life ahead. And this month may be the hardest month. My first month was the hardest month. I crossed every day off on a calendar, and it was hard. And two things that it taught me, and this isn't everybody's case, two things that made me stick to it was, one, I had an ex-husband that was then my husband that I always wanted to have a sobriety date that was before his. That's not a very honoring reason, but that was one of my reasons, and it worked. And the other reason is it was so hard to do. I never wanted to have to do it again. And the things that are hard in life are the things that we value. And I really valued my sober life. So from day one, I never had to start over. But I have worked with many people that have had different times where they have had to start over. And oftentimes, whatever they learn through that process, when they're lucky enough to get on the other side and start over and build it up again, the things that they learn are life-changing. They're very valuable. Now, I'm not saying that you need to relapse. You don't. But if you relapse, pick from it whatever lesson there was for you to learn and add it to your box of tools that you take along building that better life that you have now earned from your efforts to not drink one day at a time. Thanks.